Today, I'm going to share with you how I managed to get over 100,000 views on my website. I will share with you the process. I will also share with you the tools and the mistakes as well, including some of the secrets, to this journey of mine. My name is Bokang Mabiletsa. I'm prepared to do it. Before we dive in deep, there's some things that I want you to understand, some factors that were at play while we were actually creating this project. The first factor was time. It took us some time. It took us 2 years to complete this project. And yes, if we were concentrating on the project alone, we could have probably done it faster. But yeah, just be patient with yourself when you're embarking on a project such as this, especially from zero. Number two, we made a lot of mistakes. Guys, it was ridiculous. It was just one mistake after one so that we can learn what not to do. And it worked, don't be afraid of making mistakes or trying out things. They always say that about business or about things that you are passionate about. And I believe that's true because this project has proved it. When we created Core Money, we went into the finance industry. So that was very difficult. It's unlike the entertainment or the arts industry. So bear in mind, which industry you're entering into. But I'll tell you this, they don't have the same rewards, and I'll talk about that later. Number 4, knowledge. We did know what we were doing when we first started, but not to the ultimate. We didn't know everything. So I encourage you, don't be held up by knowledge when you enter this project. Though be prepared to learn. Because we had a lot to learn while we were doing this project. We tried one thing after the next. We watched videos after videos. So here are 7 things that I'm going to cover with you. We're going to cover the industry so that you understand the industry that you're playing in, its keywords and topics. Number 2, we're going to look at hardware and software, especially for your hosting. It's very important to understand the difference between a 30 Rand hosting solution and a 5,000 Rand hosting solution, because that contributed quite a lot. Number 3, we're going to look at the website and the different CMS platforms. So here we're going to be looking at what is the best platform to actually build your website on. Number 5, we're going to look at the different types of SEO tools. Now, these tools are what you do or what you use to rank your pages so that Google or other search engines recognize your content. We're going to look at content generation, how you actually structure your content, how you build it up. Because, there's lots of formulas you got to be able to do there. There's lots of factors you need to take into consideration. We're going to look at also how you communicate with Google, how you set up Google tools such as Search Console, such as your analytics, your AdSense, because that's where you're going to make your money. Then we're going to look at marketing. Now, this is very important. Marketing and optimization, how I manage then to market the content out. This is very important, especially if you're a blogger. Most people think that they'll just produce content and magically, voila, it's out there in the world. So marketing is very important. So I'm going to teach you all these secrets. So let's get started. The first thing that I wanted to share with you is the industry, the topic, the keywords. What you are interested in when you want to start your blog. Now, this is very important because not all industries are the same. Please, the finance industry example wouldn't have as many people like the entertainment or music industry. The finance industry, though, would pay more money for an advert than the music industry or the entertainment industry. And I think you can see how that is possible because the ads that appear on the finance side would then be your higher tier clients, like your banks, those kind of people in the finance world. And even when you do an audience profiling of people who are interested in finance, it will be a higher tier or a higher LMS in marketing terms than those of the music industry. And also music is very broad in general, all right? Industries are not the same, and you need to choose carefully what kind of industry you're going into. Now, I'm going to share with you as well one website. Let's get started. The name of the website is WordStream. So here's a website that explains what I'm trying to say to you better. You can see here that there are various industries that you can participate in. They pay different rates for ads. They have different types of personas and buyer profiles. Also, the click-through rate and conversion rate differ. So it's not the same. Now, it's best that you learn these industries as well. Especially if you're a novice and you don't even understand what is cost per click, cost per lead, and click-through rates, as well as the conversion rates. Now, this is very important for you to understand. But one thing I can tell you is that they show you how many people are interested and how much people are willing to pay for an ad in that specific region or industry. This article, as I said, is based on American stats. I know for certain that these do not apply the same way in South Africa. We did an experiment and we found that the career and employment space pays less than most industries, and maybe because South Africa's unemployment rate is so high versus the USA. So we know for a fact that these stats are wrong. And if you're a researcher and you're watching this video and you'd like to do an article with me on this, honestly, please go ahead. Let's do this together. I believe we'll produce something phenomenal, some true South African stats. Guys, please remember that each industry has its own topics that people are interested in. Even engineering, there's things that people in the engineering space are interested in, whether it's machinery or trends in engineering. There is things that they're interested in. When it comes to music, there are songs that people are mostly interested in. It doesn't mean that they're all interested in the same thing, but there's that most of the people within that space are interested in. It's very important that you focus at those industries as well, especially if you're aiming for the high numbers and not for exclusivity. So where do you find this topic, guys? There's plenty of tools that you can find topics that people are interested in within your industry. Now I'm going to give you one that's free, and that's Google Analytics. Have a look at this tool. It's quite amazing, and it's a starter for a free tool. Some of these other tools are very expensive. Here you can see the leading search queries in the country. You can quickly notice that the entertainment and sport industries, they're leading the way. And here you're able to search for the term and the keyword that you're interested in. You can also see now the related searches within that term as well. You can also see the volume, as I said, per location to say where is it being searched the most. Now, I know that there's a lot to cover within this, and there's tools as well that I'm saying can help you actually get better topics that will rank even better. But Google is one of those tools that you can easily just use for free because people are using Google to search. So start right there without spending money and get to know what people are searching for and create. 2, hardware and hosting and the software that goes within that. This was a big lesson. I got to actually fully understand the difference between 100 rands hosting solution and 5,000 rand solution. I've been in the industry for a very long time. I did know that it was about resources and so, but I got to see it first time when we started peaking, when we started hitting high numbers. I remember it was around when we started having more than 20 people at the same time. The website would then break, but then the hosting was a shared hosting solution. When we hit the 50s, it was bad. We actually changed it right there where we're getting 50 people at the same time, like the website crashed. So it's very important to understand this part about building your website. One thing for sure is that you will need a dedicated server when you get to those, when you actually bypass like 10 people at the same time. I'm talking about people concurrently, not 10 people in a day. So you will need dedicated servers or dedicated hosting or a VPS solution, I believe. Also, there's other tools. I said I will share with you secrets. Now, bigger websites, they use Amazon. All right, we've all heard of Jeff Bezos and stuff. Yeah, so his tools are amazing. Trust me, I use them as well. There's the S3. I think it stands for Simple Storage Service. Simple Storage Service. Yes, S3. This is where you can store your data. So instead of having your information on your website, store your data on Amazon S3. Then you have from Amazon, you have a simple email service, SES. That's what we use to send our emails. So we don't use MailChimps and the simpler kind of programs. We use our own in-house build system to maximize as well, and also for the cost factors. Now, these other softwares that you actually get to use outside, they're very costly. They start charging you according to the number, sometimes to the number of emails, sometimes to the number of people that you have signed on, and it's ridiculous. Like once your database grows, you understand that it's actually you working for them, and for me that was crazy. So we went for Amazon, and we send our emails basically out of that. It's like an email is like not cents or something like that. Anyway, secrets. Another one that I wanted to share with you is the light speed for your CMS, especially if you're using WordPress. Now, as I said, get your own dedicated server and install Lightspeed on your own server. Now, the beauty about a dedicated server is that you can host as many websites as you can please. So, now, one of the other important things is security. It's very important that you secure your server, especially against DDoS attacks. Yes. And those are like bots and spammers that will come and force their way into your server. We actually got hacked a couple of times, or attempted sometimes. We're getting good at it, at protecting ourselves. And one of those things that you should use is Cloudflare services. So they're quite nice services that you can actually jump on. They'll help you as well with your DNS settings. So you'll be, controlling your DNS from there, which actually works beautifully, by the way, if I may add. And these tools, they can easily help you with your quiche, especially with Google, so that your content loads faster. So have a look at some of these tools. I'll go deeper into them as time goes by. I'll tell you a little bit more about them, but as I said, this video we meant to keep it very short, so I just quickly share with you on top level what happens, but I'll teach you more about each of these softwares as we go along. The CMS platform in particular that you should be using for your website to be getting more than 100,000 visitors per month. Key thing I'd like to say is that there is no right CMS platform, not the way that I see it. I've been in the game for a very long time. I know Drupal is very nice. I know Magento is very nice. I know Craft CMS is absolutely awesome as well. I know the most favorite, the loved of all, WordPress. I've seen websites that produce over 1 million, that get over 1 million website visitors using WordPress. So there's not a website infrastructure per se that I would say this is the best one, but there are plenty of these website infrastructures or CMS platforms that you can actually use to build your site. So do not feel worried when you have to choose one. But since I'm talking about how I got 100,000 visitors, how I managed to get that number and above, then I'll share with you my platform, and it's Laravel. So we used pure Laravel on Core Money to actually make it more successful. We believe that the platform is simple, it's secure, it's light. Because if you're using like your WordPress, which then leads to the fourth thing that we then talk about, which is then your WordPress plugin. I'd say let's talk about WordPress plugins. The plugins that you need to use, first, just remember this, your theme, please keep it light. Do not choose a heavy theme. Make it very, very light. Something that mobile devices can actually use. Simple as that. Number two, your security. A lot of people will try and force their way into your website. They'll try, because WordPress is sometimes can be unsecure, so they'll try and get into that website. Number three is your SEO plugins. It's very important to understand what SEO plugins that you use. By the way, for security, for me, sometimes I use the WordFence plugin. So have a look at that as well. It kind of helps. So when we're talking about SEO plugins, MathRank is one of those SEO tools that I actually use to actually get my site, my WordPress to be all right. There's Yoast SEO. I started with Yoast SEO. All-in-one SEO. There's All-in-one SEO. It's a great tool. I mean, it's one of the original SEO tools. And I like it because of its packages, especially if you have a big website with lots of keywords. They give you unlimited keywords. So these are the tools that you should really look at when you're taking your plugins into consideration when you're using WordPress as the blog, as the CMS rather, platform that for your blog. And also please remember not to install too many plugins onto your website. Try and keep it as light as possible, because you don't want to make your website heavy, especially of code and stuff. But as I said, I'll share more information with you in later videos. Let's because I want this to be short, but there's so much to share when it comes to website, or rather the CMS and its plugins, especially WordPress. WordPress is very common, and yes, it's a very nice tool to use. So next, I'm going to share with you the content creation part of things. Now, this is the most important part. If you get it wrong, honestly, it's do or die for your website. So content is king here on your blog. So Co-Money is just content galore. What we did is just we put in content, a lot of content. Now, as I said, here we will, let's just cover, the frequency, how often you should post content. I know people say you should do it frequently, daily, and yes, it does help to do it daily because Google recognizes that you're a daily provider of content, but only if it's valuable content. We need to look at the length of your content. It's very important. You cannot just produce content and write 100 words and think that it's going to rank. Yes, there's articles that rank out of 100 words, but if you're looking at long-term content, you're going to have to look at bigger word count, like 5,000, between 3,000, 5,000 kind of word count. But good content is like 800 or more, kind of word count. So it's very important to know this. So let's first dissect content. Important thing number one is, are people looking for that kind of content? Is it content that will be interesting for people? Now, this is very important. As I said earlier on, go to Google Trends and you can search. There's many other SEO tools, as I said. I will then cover them with you as well. But even beyond these tools, you need to understand that this is what people are looking for. All right? This is what people are searching for. And also, there is little information behind that. Now, if there's already a lot of information behind that, your content is going to get lost. So please make sure that you look at these factors. Are people looking for this thing? And how saturated is the market in that particular content? So do not throw yourself in a position whereby you are just producing content and nobody's looking at it, because there's better websites out there that have better authority than you and that are already ranking for this content. All right. So that's critical. The length, as I said, is very critical. But more than that, backlinking, or linking in general, like linking internally within other articles, or linking with other articles that are that have authority. So to showcase that the information that you're writing is kind of well researched, you're not just making it up yourself. If you say, according to Oxford Dictionary, then all right, then we can believe you that you're talking facts now. You're no longer making things up where you're defining things, you're defining words. So it's very important to link to Oxford Dictionary when you say according to Oxford Dictionary. So that's how you build your content. Now, we can definitely dive in deep in terms of content, on-page SEO, because that's what's going to happen after content. After you build the content, there's going to be on-page SEO that you need to do, making sure that your content is the coding behind it is correct. Example, if you're going to place pictures within your content, they got to be light, man. They got to be like super light. You can't be placing heavy images on your content. Therefore, you're just stealing people's data unnecessarily, and people want it nowadays. And you making them wait for an image to load. So stuff like that is very important. Tags, alt tags, meta descriptions. Those things have to do with your on-page SEO. You got to make sure that you cover these things within your content as well. Keywords density. Keyword density is very important. How often you mention that word that you're trying to rank for, that keyword that you're trying to rank for. So that keyword density is very important. An example, do you mention it in your H tags? Do you mention that keyword in the first paragraph of your sentence? That's the kind of stuff that we had to learn. And I'm telling you right now, if you write those things down, then you'll start ranking better. I promise you this. Most probably you heard it somewhere maybe. I'm just here to confirm it that those kind of things, they work. All right. But also for the sake of time, we'll dive in deep on that topic, on the content topic. The first thing is Google Search Console or Bing Search Console. It's very important to go and set it up. This is where you index your website. You must index your website. It must go within Google. Google must recognize it. Now, the Search Console is also very good because it can help you with your server errors, your 503, I think it's 503 error. It can notify you and tell you that that page in particular is missing, and therefore you need to correct it, because Google doesn't like it when it finds empty pages, pages with errors, pages that have no content. So you must fix those things. And to do that, get the Google Search Console registered there, including the Bing one, and regularly check on those results to see, and the reports to see what is it that you need to fix on your website, maybe making it faster and so forth. Then the next one is Google Analytics. Please, that is a number one tool that you need to get going on. How else are you going to know how many people are on your website, when were they on the website, where did they come from, all of that jazz? You need to know everything. You need to calculate. Here we calculate. Every day you sit on, and it's addictive. Okay, it's addictive. Do not sit on it the whole day. And it's also depressing sometimes when the numbers are not rolling in. And sometimes it could be a drug when the numbers are rolling in. You can sit there like for 2 hours watching it. It's amazing. Okay, yeah, now you kind of know what I did, but let's not go in there. So Google Analytics, hit that thing. Get it set up on your website and monitor your website. Monitor what's going on, because it'll help you improve. That's the major thing that is going to help you improve. All right. Another setup that you need to do is the AdSense. You want to get paid, right? So if you're going to reach those kind of levels, trust me, you start getting paid from 1,000 rands. And to get 1,000 rands, I remember it took like, how many website views? I'm thinking on top of head here. I think it was, we were doing like 2,000, no, close to about 5,000 visitors per month. Then we started having something like that, all right, to 5,000. And we're starting to make good money, but it started going up when we got like 10,000. I remember then we were there, and then 30,000. When we got like 30,000 people, we're making good money as well. Like $5,000 or somewhere there. Number 7, marketing and optimization. Now guys, this is a very important subject. This is a very important topic in general, because it doesn't happen that often you write an article and next thing, boof, there it is, ranking high. No. All right. And unless your website has already good traction, that can happen, but it doesn't really happen like that. So I know I said content is king, but content won't get you anywhere if marketing is not involved. All right, still king. I think then marketing will be queen. You know how a chessboard is like. The king can only move once, but then the king is like the most important piece. But then the queen can do everything. This is what marketing is. Marketing is the queen of your strategy. Now, marketing, your content is very critical, especially email marketing. Email marketing is one of those things that are cheap, direct to your customer, to your base, to the people who are interested in your product. So for you to build a list, let's start with building a list, because not a lot of people have context to email, and sometimes you don't do it right. You spam people. No, that's not how to do email marketing. You do it the right way. And how you do it is you build a list. How do you build a list? You build a list by offering value. All right, people ask me, how do I get context? How do I? No, you offer people value. As simple as that. Listen, if you're going to give me right now some trade secrets in my industry, I'll give you my email. I mean, you know the secrets. If you're going to give me some research paper within my industry, I'm going to give you my email address. If you're going to give me something that I want, I'm going to give you my email address. And especially if you're giving me that thing for free. So it's so simple as that. You're giving me something and I'll give you my email back. Now, some people think just a newsletter. Sign up for my newsletter, then you'll get emails. No, unfortunately, that doesn't help much. You gotta offer something. You gotta take initiative. People are very protective with their emails, man. It's gold, that thing, all right? So give in order to receive as well. So email marketing, remember, it's king, but remember, you gotta give in order to ask for any email. By the way, this will even help you with backlinks, because lots of people, if you have content that is well researched, other people will link back to it. And now, before everybody collects that content, they gotta give you an email address. But more so, what's beautiful is that the email addresses that you'll be collecting, you know that is for people who are interested in a particular piece of content, meaning you can give them related content and they'll be happy. Now you get a good email list going on there. All right? So remember, give when it comes to email address. Social media. Now, this is another way of promoting your content. You can promote it on social media, and social media consumes a lot of content. Now, for Core Money, we didn't use much of social media, so it's not the end of it all. If you had to ask me, I would still say email on top of social. But there's some people who are able to use social media very good. So use your social media where you can, share with people. One of the strategies that I've seen on social media that actually works, just to give you a little secret on that, is when you build articles and then you get quotes from other famous people, or especially famous people, or industry leaders or something like that. So example, if quoting me, then I share it with my industry specialists and it virals. That happens. Some people have done that, and it works a lot in social media. So quoting other people within your articles, then sharing on social media with them, and then them sharing back to other people works. All right. Social media is very, very good. If you have lots of followers, try and collect their email addresses if possible and email them. I'm reverting back to number one. So email is still better for me than social media, as I said, but social media can make that impact, especially if it virals. Sometimes content virals, man, and it blows up. So do give it a shot. If you got good content, it'll probably viral. Quick tips regarding marketing. Now, the key thing that you're trying to do when marketing is build backlinks. Now, backlinks, they help your website with authority. So the more people that link back to your website, the more Google recognizes you as somebody that is trusted. All right. So it's very important. So if you provide good content, when other people read your content and they say where they got their content, and it's your website, then Google recognizes. So it's also part of marketing. Link to other people and let other people link to you. Remember, linking is very good. Do not try and stay away from it. I've seen people who goes like, no, I don't like, there's a link on my website. No. Linkage, you will rank. All right. So that's another form of organic marketing that you can do, linking to other people. And also, very importantly, remember to optimize your content. Optimize your content. This, we're talking about your old articles that maybe you wrote, add on more to them, add more content. All right. And update them, make them fresh, make them new. Google doesn't like old content. All right. Stale content doesn't do well. So, and sometimes writing over and over is really unrealistic. So go back to some of your old content and just rewrite them quickly and make them relevant. Make them, maybe there's a 2020 article or 2019. Make it 2022 now. Okay. Yes. So that's how you actually get your marketing going on. Now, guys, that's it from me. I hope all the information that I shared with you was beneficial. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. Now, as I shared with you here, the 7 things, the industry, we spoke about the industry. It's very important for you to know the industry that you're performing in, that you are working in. It's very important to understand the hardware and the hosting settings, and in the different software that you need to make sure that your hosting is awesome. Okay, because you can't get 100,000 views from 30 Rand hosting. And it's very important to have the right CMS platform and the right SEO tools. SEO tools are very important. Plugins as well when it comes to WordPress. And then we have content. Content is king, don't forget. But marketing, which is last, is queen. And in between, we have Google setup. Setting up those Google elements as well. So remember those things when building your website. And I guarantee you can get over 100,000. I did. You can. And I wasn't even concentrating that much